The scale of the challenge involved in delivering on a number of the priorities I've outlined is considerable. On the initial priorities, I'm happy to report that the Office has been assigned a near doubling in its budget to 3.65 million for 2015, and this has importantly given us the ability to recruit new and much needed staff. Recruitment is well underway. 10 new staff have already joined me in a new temporary office that will be occupying in the city centre in Dublin for the next 12 months. 8 additional new staff, including a team of technologists and lawyers, will take up their positions over the coming weeks, and we have a head of communications joining us at the end of September. It is incidentally my view, and one I think that's widely shared in Europe and perhaps beyond, that the Irish office has been understaffed in the past relative to its statutory function, and compounded then by the presence of so many data-rich multinationals in Ireland. This current round of recruitment and expansion will go some way towards addressing this historic issue. I've heard it asserted as recently as last month that the Irish Authority was and is intentionally under-resourced as an Irish government strategy to attract and retain jobs, rather. Peter Scharr, who's a former federal data protection commissioner for Germany, did an interview with the New York Times at the end of May, and he's quoted as saying that tax reasons are nothing to do with why Facebook is located in Ireland. It's to do with the fact that they have the lowest levels of data protection and the most lax laws on data protection in Europe. I think these kinds of comments, and other regional data protection commissioners in Germany have made similar, really don't stand up to any kind of scrutiny. I think there's evidence that as a small open economy, Ireland has had a long history of foreign direct investment, and long before data-rich companies began to locate in Ireland. Intel is, for example, located in Ireland for over 30 years. And I think it's clear that tax is an important driver in terms of companies located in Ireland, but also importantly, we have one of the youngest and most highly educated and English-speaking workforces in Europe, which is certainly an element in their location there. And I think there's no doubt that the companies that are located in Ireland want to be regulated by a credible regulator, and importantly, what I hear them say is they want clarity about how the law translates to their activities so that they can be compliant with European law. So I think I can say with some degree of certainty that there's never been an intentional policy of under-resourcing of the authority in Ireland. I think all publicly funded bodies in Ireland and probably in Europe have been acting under constrained resources over the last 6 or 7 years. However, notwithstanding any under-resourcing, I believe that as an authority we did react with creativity and flexibility at a point where social media companies in particular were centralising the European headquarters in Ireland, and we procured in external and expert resources to assist in delivering, for example, the only substantive baseline study in Europe of Facebook service in the form of 2 audit reports in 2011 and 2012. And as Stuart just mentioned, Billy Hawkes was here and gave a talk on that work in 2013. So could we have done more? Could we have reacted faster? I've no doubt it would always be possible to criticise in retrospect, but in fact the work done in driving Facebook service towards compliance with EU data protection law by the Irish Authority was groundbreaking at the time, and it involved cooperation and consultation with all EU data protection authorities in assessing certain types of issues that had never previously fallen for consideration. So as someone who's reviewed the internal records of this period, it's clear to me that in fact the global Facebook service users log into today owes much to the implementation of recommendations from these audits, which were developed in part in parallel with the FTC and the Canadian Data Protection Office. So ability to fully delete accounts, easily detag from photos, download your own information, have their origins in this body of work. So I think if there are criticisms to be made and lessons to be learnt, EU regulators as a cooperative grouping must share responsibility.